Mr. Summit1g had some words to say about this past weekend. If you guys did miss it, Fortnite drama, controversy, well, you shouldn't be a stranger to it. It happens just about every single event. That being a Fortnite pro known as Unknown Army, what he did is called griefing. That being changing his point of interest or his POI or his drop spot to try and kill another pro player who had previously killed him during these matchups. And so trying to get back at him, he wanted to change his drop entirely, change his route entirely to go after that same pro player and kill him to get his revenge. Now, if you guys cannot understand, I totally get that you don't understand this. When it comes to battle royales being a competitive game or esport, it's kind of difficult to understand why this would be a bad thing. But certainly when it comes to Fortnite, well, I'll give you guys Summit's tweets first, and then we'll respond. By the way, Summit's only trying to make a discussion point. I love reading these replies sometimes. He's only trying to bring to light a debate, an argument, certainly one of which could be had. It just seems like whenever people or top personalities out there make these kind of tweets, instantly they get hate, even though they're just trying to start a discussion of which a lot of people don't actually understand both sides too. As he said, so if I'm playing Fortnite in an event, someone kills me and dances on my body, I get heated and happen to know their preferred landing locations, I'm not allowed to go after him in next round. In CS, if someone is talking crap, I can roll over to their bomb site to shut him up. And he continued, I mean, can't the griefing just as easily happen not so obviously? What if he just zoned the enemy POI and waits for the time limit to end? Does that not happen? And the reason why this case was so bad is because it was so obvious, so public, and the streamer and pro player who actually griefed another pro player made it so public. He even stated he was going to do so after that pro player danced on his body after killing him. He was going to change everything, his route and POI, just to get revenge. He made it so public. He made it so obvious. In other circumstances, we have probably overseen these kind of things because they can be pretty tricky and hard to catch. If there is any instance of griefing being probably a bad thing for the game, this is certainly it. To elaborate on what Summit said, and again, he brings to light a great point because in other esports, either A, this is not possible, or B, it's not that big of a deal if you try and get revenge on someone killing you. When it comes to a battle royale though, especially throughout qualifiers or an event that are by a match-by-match basis, let's say for numbers instance that you have 10 matches to acquire as many points or accrue as many points as possible to get your eventual placement, or let's say it's a timed event, 60 minutes, an hour long to accrue as many points as possible to get your placement. Here is where the issue lies and why Fortnite as a competitive esport is so difficult. If you guys don't know, this game is unfair in so many ways when it comes time for stream sniping, for teaming, for colluding, for bending the rules, for actually cheating. I could name a list of other issues as well it has, and yes, this is certainly one of them. When it comes time for people, whether it be a number of matchups where let's say you're 7 or 8 matches in, or you're 45, 50 minutes into your placement matches, and you realize you cannot place or you cannot qualify, you can deliberately try and ruin someone else's chances by griefing them or landing in their spot or on their POI, just like Unknown Army did, and that's where the huge problem does lie. You can have a pro player out there who is financially settled, right? A guy like Unknown Army would be a prime example of this. He is okay with not placing or qualifying because he has money in the bank, so he can then deliberately, because he knows he's not going to qualify, or even if he's okay with not qualifying, he can then deliberately ruin someone else's chances who has been putting hours and hours, like Clicks is the one he actually did try and grief. He could potentially ruin his chances for qualifying and making money that he could need. In case you guys missed it, I think Ninja had a pretty solid response, at least when it comes to that aspect of why griefing can be such a bad thing for battle royales, and especially when it comes to Fortnite, and a lot of money is on the line, and a lot of these guys who could be griefed by pro players are not, making a lot of money. Some of which are, but some of them are probably not near as well off, and you can have pro players ruining their livelihood just because they can.
To every single player that sees this, who's competing in the Fortnite FNCS solos, will continue to compete in the Fortnite tournaments, Cash Cups, Duo Cups, Trio Cups, whatever. Do not grief players during tournaments because you no longer have a chance of qualifying. Just because you can't win now and you can't qualify doesn't mean that you need to go and ruin a top streamer or YouTuber or whoever's time and chance at qualifying and making money when they might not even be able to, you know what I mean? Like, you don't even know what you're doing. You don't even know what you're really doing. What if this person needs this money? Like, you don't know what they're going through. You don't know what their family's going through, especially in a time like this, man. People don't, people aren't even comprehending that. Don't grief players because your tournament is over. Don't land somewhere else and try to ruin someone else's tournament because you choked or sucked and now can't qualify. Okay? Find out what you did wrong and improve the next tournament. There's going to be a next tournament. This also goes out to people who actually have an audience and have a platform. You guys have to lead by example. I think these people know who I'm talking about. Don't go and grief other people's games because, oh, they griefed yours. You have a huge audience. You guys have followings. You have to lead by example. You have to be pillars in your community. Just don't stoop to their level. Okay, be better than that. Be better than them, and just be a good role model, man. There's so many people who are watching you, thousands, tens of thousands of people watching you guys every day, watching you guys compete, and you guys just have to set a good example and try to stay above it.
And so thank you very much, Summit. Your tweets often and your clips often do spark videos and discussions over here, which I really am thankful for. It gives me more content. I really enjoy the fact he brings to light some great discussions when it comes to across other esports. We just don't see this stuff. And that's why griefing can be such a big issue in Fortnite, because you can have players or pro players, and oftentimes these are open qualifiers for big events too. If you get a random out there making it pretty far, but all of a sudden realizing they can't qualify, they can deliberately target anyone who is streaming or anyone who they can actually know their POIs or landing spots and try and ruin them just because they can. Now, the flip side of the coin is, how do you stop it? I think Summit makes another great point of, what's the big deal? There are certainly a lot of people out there who will see this and say, you know what, if he finds it in his best interest to change his POI, to change his drop, to try and get as many kills or as many points as possible, who are we to stop him? And you are totally right. But in this instance, Unknown Army made it so public and so obvious he deliberately did this just to target one individual person. That is why it is sabotage. That is why it is griefing. In most cases, this really can't be, in my opinion, be a bannable offense. In this one, it should be, but in classic Epic Games fashion, it won't be. Thank you, Summit, for the tweets. Thank you guys all for the discussion point. Hope you guys all enjoy. As per usual, you can leave your thoughts down below, and I will read them through because this is a very, very talkable topic. Until next time, drink your water, drink your coffee. I'll see you guys back here next time. Okay, bye.